Hello, I'm Dr. Rose Valentine, a therapist passionate about real-life love stories. Today, I'm sharing a tale about the beautiful dance of trust and vulnerability. Set against the enchanting backdrop of Seattle, this story reveals how true love and partnership can blossom in the most unexpected places. Join me as we journey through a world where dance becomes the language of love. Dance has always been a part of my life. Ever since I was little, it gave me a sense of freedom, like I could express everything I couldn't put into words. But for some reason, the swing of routines and drills never felt quite right. So, when a friend suggested I try a new dance class at a local studio, she must have seen the need for change written all over my face. The studio was bright and airy, filled with the buzz of conversation and laughter. I felt a mix of excitement and nerves as I stepped in, my fingers adjusting the strap of my dance bag anxiously. I'm Sarah, a simple name in a room full of potential stories just waiting to unfold. I was here to learn, yes, but perhaps I was also hoping to find something more. The instructor gathered us around, her voice a calming guide as she introduced the first steps. My gaze wandered over the group, taking in the sight of other dancers, each bringing their own unique flair. It was a kaleidoscope of humanity, and I felt a spark of anticipation at getting to know their stories. But my attention settled on someone whose movements were like a language, all their own. There, with fluid grace, was someone I couldn't help but watch. Her movements were captivating, seemingly effortless as she wove through the basic steps. As she danced, I could see the music flowing through her, bending and shaping with the beats. I found myself swaying along, drawn to her rhythm and the confidence with which she moved. When she caught my eye, she smiled, an easy, inviting gesture that eased my jittery nerves just a bit. "Your movements have a nice flow," she said, weaving a thread of connection between us with those simple words. We paired up for an exercise, and during the short rest, I couldn't resist striking up a conversation. Her name was Maya, and as we exchanged introductions, I found myself amused by the way she had a knack for making everything feel so comfortable. It was effortless, like a dance in itself, and I couldn't help but be pulled into the mix. Throughout the lesson, our brief interaction simmered with a delightful energy. While the class moved around us in synchronized chaos, Maya and I shared small smiles and quiet encouragements. There was something undeniably intriguing about her. She was warm and open, her laughter rich and genuine. As the session ended, I walked out with a heart lighter than before, considering the possibility of something more than just a new dance skill. Meeting Maya felt like opening a window. There was a breath of fresh air and the whispers of a path yet unexplored. Dance might be the reason we crossed paths, but as I left the studio, I pondered the possibilities of where else this journey might lead. Could this be the start of a rhythm all our own? Only time would tell, but I knew I wanted to find out. Being partnered with Maya felt like winning a prize I didn't know I was competing for. She was even more mesmerizing up close, and I couldn't ignore the bubbling energy that seemed to pass between us, crackling and warm. There were nervous flutters in my stomach, but they soon turned into excitement as we were given our first task together. Despite my initial nervousness, Maya's presence was reassuring. She stood beside me, a gentle smile playing on her lips. "Don't worry," she said, her voice calm and steady. "We'll figure it out together." That simple reassurance did wonders. I felt a spark of trust forming between us. As we practiced, I found that our chemistry was undeniable. It amazed me how a slight nod or a shift in her gaze was enough to guide me through complex movements. We began to understand each other without words, learning to move in sync, intertwined by the music and the dance. Each step, each gesture was a testament to the trust we were building. I fought to keep my focus on the dance, even as my mind raced with what all these feelings might mean. Away from the studio, Maya occupied my thoughts more than I dared to admit. I felt both uncertain and invigorated, grappling with emotions that were surfacing. With each class, the connection grew stronger, and my heart seemed to beat in time with the rhythms we practiced. It was during one of these sessions that the unexpected happened. We were finishing a particularly intense sequence, our breaths mingling in the small shared space. As the music pulled us together, our eyes met, and the world seemed to pause. Her hand brushed mine, lingering with a touch full of questions and possibilities. In that moment, the air shifted. An almost tangible tension hung between us, full of everything left unsaid. Slowly, we leaned in, the space narrowing until... A break! The instructor's voice shattered the moment, leaving us both startled and breathless. The atmosphere in the room settled back into its usual lively hum, but my heart was still racing from what had just almost transpired. I stepped back, caught between the electric charge of what just happened and the stark reality of the rehearsal room. Maya's expression mirrored my surprise, a mix of emotions flickering across her face. For a split second, everything felt unreal, like some dream I'd been startled awake from too soon. As we resumed practice, I couldn't shake the sensation of being on the edge of something significant. There was a profound yet unfamiliar energy between us. It lingered long after the music faded, weaving anticipation into every upcoming moment. Maya and I exchanged a look of understanding, silently acknowledging that whatever was brewing between us was something neither of us could ignore. What comes next, I wondered, as the dance continued to unfold not only under spotlight, but in the quiet corners of our hearts. In the days following that intense moment in the studio, my heart was a whirlwind. I found myself on the brink of something profound with Maya, and the uncertainty both thrilled and terrified me. I couldn't help but replay that almost kiss in my mind, wondering what might happen if I dared to take a step forward. Seeking advice, I confided in my closest friend, who listened patiently as I poured out my thoughts. "You have to go for it," she urged, her words brimming with excitement. "Maya clearly means something to you. Don't let fear stop you from finding out what that is." That encouragement ignited a new resolve in me. I realized that whatever lay ahead, I needed to be honest with Maya and myself. Back in the studio, the air was charged with the energy of anticipation for the upcoming showcase. Rehearsals were intense, each session requiring all our focus and commitment. Yet every shared practice brought us closer, the synergy between us growing with each move. It was as if the dance became a language of its own, forging deeper connection and understanding. But beyond the music, it was time to address the feelings that hovered between us. As we took a break after another successful run, I gathered my courage. The warmth in Maya's eyes was welcoming, encouraging me to speak my heart. "Maya, can we talk?" I began, my voice steady despite the racing in my chest. She nodded, her expression soft and attentive, and I took a breath, letting the truth tumble out. "I can't stop thinking about what almost happened and how much you mean to me. I want to know if there's something more between us." She broke into a smile, a brilliant, genuine thing that made the room around us seem a little brighter. "I've been thinking the same thing," she admitted, relief and joy mingling in her voice. "I didn't know how to say it, but I've felt this connection too." In that moment, surrounded by the hum of the studio and the echo of past melodies, we stepped into a shared understanding. We talked about who we were and what this meant, finding acceptance and excitement in every shared glance and word. As the showcase day arrived, the energy was electric. Our performance was a blend of everything we'd built together: trust, vulnerability, and undeniable chemistry. The audience faded away. It felt like it was just us and the rhythm we created together. When the final note hung in the air, applause erupted, but I was only focused on Maya. We stepped off the stage, her hand in mine, fully aware that what was real and significant wasn't contained in just the dance. It lived in the quiet moments, the shared laughter, and in the promise of something beautiful between us. There, in the warmth of the studio lights and the simplicity of Maya's embrace, I knew this was just the beginning. We had found a rhythm not just in dance, but in each other, a partnership rooted in affection, trust, and love. It was a journey I was ready to share, one step at a time. Thank you for joining me, Dr. Rose Valentine, in exploring this heartfelt love story. From trust forged in the dance studio to a love that's truly enchanting, it's a testament to love's unexpected journey. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Be sure to return tomorrow for another captivating tale. Until then, may your days be filled with warmth and love.